Good morning, Boker Tov. Hello, everybody. This is December 5th today, Tuesday. It's 8:30. Wake up. Wake up. um, I had an idea to start blog and see if it gains any traction. I'm not sure if this is going to be a daily thing. I don't think I could commit to that, but we'll try for one a week and see if we can maybe talk about some wellness off the top of the head. Try to avoid so much psychobabble and see where we're going. So grab your coffee. That's a funny sticker that I have. Grab your coffee and let's get started. So I wrote a blog post recently about the holidays and the holidays being a point of stress, the holidays being a point of contention, goodness. It's not all bad, right? But sometimes it can be bad, right? I think there are going to be some people this year who are going to be struggling with the holidays, and there are going to be some people who are okay, and there are going to be some people in the middle. So I wanted to review a few ideas to help out with the holiday season. Um, you know, it's always good to be mindful. Mindfulness is the backbone to DBT. And I think it's a big backbone to general wellness, mental wellness, especially during times of stress. I say DBT, I say therapy, but really everything I'm trying to pass along is just practical ways of just taking care of yourself, new ways to think, new ways to feel. You know, uh, Sigmund Freud, the OG therapist, he always said, everywhere I go, the poets were there before me. And how I'm connecting this with what I just said is that, it's not all serious therapy stuff. You know, People have thought of these things before. A lot of what's called good therapy advice, the philosophers thought about. Your grandparents have told you off the cuff advice. It's the same thing. It's all, it's all just people trying to help people. Okay. So mindfulness, very important. Very, very important to take stock of how you're feeling and just to notice it. Notice it. Notice how the environment is hitting you, how your life is hitting you, how the holidays are hitting you, how your family's hitting you, your friends, these interactions with the season and with your environment, how it impacts you. I'll give you an example, right? The holidays can make you feel like you're running around like a cuckoo, like you're crazy. You feel like you're pulled in 18 million directions at once. I got to go to the mall. I got to buy presents. I got to run down to the mailroom because I bought presents and it's there. I got to work at the same time. I got to take off. I got to plan out the meal. Somebody's got to bring chairs, Um, and then on the other hand, if the holidays, had challenges with it, a death happened on the holiday years ago, holidays full of family drama, if the family's not perfectly aligned. Of course, Jester's joining us for the video. Hello, Jester. Good morning. Let's just make sure he doesn't step on the computer. Um, Back to anything that could contaminate the holiday with anxiety, pain, real life challenges that really can, shake us. It's important to be mindful, to stay aware. Being aware equals coping well. That's everything. You're not aware, you're gonna be at a lesser chance to cope well. That's the whole that's the whole combination. So I'll give you an example. Um, as I said I would. Uh, when I'm working like a crazy person, which happens a lot. I get pulled in 18 million directions. I got to complete notes for clients. I got to see clients. Sometimes in the wee breaks in between clients, I got to run to my car. I got to go grab something to eat. My wife tells me to return a package. In the midst of the whole day, right? There's deadlines in my private practice, deadlines in the clinic I work at, deadlines with the supervisees I deal with, lots of juggling, right? And so I get stretched and I start trying to multitask too much. And I'm like filling out a note. and I'm remembering I gotta print out a package label, and then I'm 5 minutes late for a client, and then I'm running to the client, and the note doesn't get done, and the package doesn't get sent out, and if it's printed, the printer spit out the label, but it's now on the floor, yeah, and then my cat throws up on the rug, and yeah. Just so many things pulling my executive functioning, my ability to actually do things and focus, to have a single point of attention, just jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. And so mindfulness has helped me a lot lately in just recentering, one thing at a time, checking my expectations. All these things are very helpful ways of reorienting myself. But if I wasn't mindful to the fact that I was going into an overwhelming situation, already overwhelmed, or just dealing with a lot of stress and noticing I'm getting scattered, I would not have effectively coped. I would have continued the unskillfulness, and chances are my nerves would get fried and I wouldn't do what I had to do for the day. So this is very, very much like an important point. Mindfulness. Um, you know, Another thing that really helps is coping ahead on the holidays, to be aware of potential challenges. If you're going to Aunt Darcy's house and it's always tense there, to prepare oneself mentally when you're what's it call it, you're uh, about to go into what feels like a lion's den or a boredom den or an anxiety den, whatever you might want to call it, and just knowing that there's going to be a challenge and being able to cope ahead. So for example, if you got a holiday plan coming up, you know, you want to make sure that, you know, you're well rested the night before. You got to think through the possibilities. Um, I'm not going to be editing this video, but you can find the Cope Ahead uh, page. I'll link it to my blog. You can find the page number from the Linehan DBT skills workbook in the description if you follow the link. It's a really good worksheet to start working out the details of how to cope ahead with a stressful situation. And lastly, right, don't forget about self-validation. You know, if the holidays are a challenging and triggering time for you because of whatever reason, it's very important to validate that experience, and to not, force yourself to have the happiest of holidays. If sadness is coming up, of course we have to temper and manage that feeling. We have to use our skills like check the facts. We have to use our skills like opposite action, right, to stay skillful. But skillfulness coexists in a dialectic with validation. Remember, if you're going to be going through a hard time, whether your anxiety is cranked up, whether you're triggered for whatever reason, an anniversary of anything that happened on the holiday that's very, counter to the holiday spirit, um, please validate yourself and be skillful, but don't forget it's both. It's always both. If you don't validate, eventually you're going to start judging. At least that's what I found. You're going to start judging yourself. You're going to start judging the holidays. And once those judgments start happening, all the thoughts start letting loose of the I sucks, the world sucks, the holidays suck, my family sucks, everything sucks, my childhood was terrible. And all those things might be valid, right? But it's not healthy to just allow oneself to go into that acid bath of thoughts, to just expose oneself to all that stuff. It's radioactive. It's gonna hit and it's gonna hurt. I see the timer is at 9:20, 9 minutes 24 seconds. We are pretty close to the end of this blog. I just want to wish everybody well. And remember, if you're in need of psychological care, there are so many providers right now. If you would like to learn more about my program, InsightDBT's treatment program, and you are a New York State resident, you can always check us out on InsightDBT.com. We do also offer in-person sessions, in Merrick, Long Island. So if you're in the Long Island vicinity, we can definitely accommodate some in-person work if that's something you're preferring, and telehealth to all of New York State, from Buffalo to whatever the last point before Jersey is of New York. So again, please reach out for support if you need it. You can reach out to your counselor, you can reach out to friends, family, if it's the right thing, if you have those supports. Remember, you're not alone on the holidays, and whatever happens, blanket statement, I wish you a well time, happy holidays to everybody, and goodwill to all men, as they say, or goodwill to all people, if I want to make that a more good way to say it now. So be well, and check out the next blog post when it comes out. Adios.